I've always wanted to do this all my life. Since I was in high school, probably, to ride a motorcycle on Route 66.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Where are you visiting from?
Am I on camera here?
Yeah, you're on camera.
I'm from Chicago.
Nice. And you look.
My helmet so I could actually hear.
Yeah, you look pretty loaded down there. How long is your trip?
Well, my total trip is 24 days.
Oh my goodness.
But I'm doing Route 66 to LA, and then I'm going up to Seattle.
Yeah.
And then I'm taking to the road called Route 2 that goes from Seattle to the South Shore of Lake Superior in Wisconsin.
So in the end, in 21 days, when you get home, how many total miles will you have accumulated, do you think?
6,000.
Wow.
Just under.
Wow. Nice.
I'm on day 9, and I'm going to get to LA tomorrow.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess beginning of the desert. So you're going that way then, correct? Yeah.
And I want to buy gas for $27.9.
It's from 1957, so you may not get very far. But before I forget, so in heading that way, is this your first time down the road right here?
This is my first time on Route 66.
Okay.
Not my first time driving from Chicago to California.
Yeah. So in 3 miles, there's the Hackberry General Store. Good spot for pictures. I just tell you because it comes up on you quick. And then how far are you going today? Kingman?
No, I'm going to go today to Barstow.
Barstow. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to do this little section, and then I'm going to go up to Oatman and Cool Springs, which you must be familiar with. Yeah. And one of the things I was looking for was Hackberry Station, so not the general store. So is this Hackberry Station or?
No, there's no Hackberry Station. Hackberry General Store had a gas station there, and that may be the one that you're thinking of. They used to have a old Corvette out in front, and then later a Rat Rod. This is Valentine Station. Next door is the old 76 station, now open as a restaurant bar, just opened up last week. And then 3 miles down the road, Hackberry. 9 miles past that, and Terrace, downtown in Kingman, they have like the arch Route 66 arch that you can drive through, take a picture. But
I've already been through one of those 3 days ago. I forget what town it was in.
New Mexico, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody's spiffing up with the anniversary coming up in 26. Yep. I guess. Did you redo this yourself or restore it? Or?
So yeah, I live here. This is actually my house. Been out here since 2006. Didn't know anything about Route 66. Didn't know that it was popular. Turns out it's famous, right? So yeah, and then my goal now, almost just like you said, is capture some of these contents or some of these stories, people such as yourself going by on the road, and to me, it's pretty amazing. We're out here in the middle of nowhere, right? And then people from all over the world, I'm sure you may have seen. So yeah.
I read it. It's still a little early in the season.
Yeah.
Although coming from Chicago,
you may have seen at least one bike tour group now.
The first bike tour group was today. Okay. Believe it or not, from Chicago to Flagstaff. Yeah. I saw when I was on 66, I was pretty much had it to myself. Since Flagstaff, I'm starting to see RVs and I'm starting to see larger bike groups. Yeah. Most of the bike groups go in June because the weather's a little more normal. I mean, I've had a shelter from tornadoes at one point. Yesterday I only went 50 miles because if you had the winds here that I had there, I couldn't ride anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, especially, I mean, it gets a little hectic. So tell me about your rig, the vehicle you're riding here today.
This is a Honda Gullwing, the 2016.
Nice.
I'm a camper, so
motorcycle camping?
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
So everything in the green bag is my camping stuff. If it's not in the green bag, it's the stuff I would otherwise have.
Okay.
But
the green bag is like a quote dry bag or something? Yeah.
Well, they're both. Everything's dry bags.
Okay. Neat.
You have to do that on a bike.
Yeah.
It is.
So total capacity with your hard luggage and your bags there, like how much do you think you're carrying? Like 100 pounds, maybe 70 pounds?
70 would be the most. It's probably more like 60.
Yeah.
I mean, like, well, I'm a wilderness canoer, so I'm sort of set up for camping.
Yeah.
So
How much water capacity do you carry on you at it usually?
I've got 3 liters in bottles, and then I also have one of those dromedary packs.
Yeah.
That could hold another 2.5 liters, but I haven't used that.
Yeah.
But on average, I'm drinking. This is very, even today when it's cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through almost 3 liters of water.
Yeah.
I've never needed more than 3 liters.
Yeah.
But you got to stay hydrated, you know.
And then current range on your bike about 200 or so, or under 200 miles?
On the tank, I'd say about 170.
Okay.
But I will tell you that
Don't trust it?
at a half a tank, which is 100 miles, I'm ready to fill because, you know, you can't go down to 20 miles left around here because it may be 20 miles. So
and then no extra. You're not carrying any extra gas can or bottle or container or anything like that.
I have a gas container with me.
Okay.
It doesn't have gas in it. That's for Route 2 going back, because on Route 2 it could be 100 miles between gas stations.
Yeah.
But it's a soft thing, but it's designed for gasoline.
Yeah, in between crossing here in the desert, like you can gas up Kingman, but later you're going on the 40, correct?
I'm going to try and go 66.
You're going Cool Spring, 66, yeah. So then you'll end up down in Topak. So for surely gas up in Kingman. For surely gas up.
Well, I just gassed up at the last town at their $4.25 absurd gas price. But you know, when I'm at a half tank, I'll tell you, you got to have a rule like that because otherwise you can get in trouble.
Yeah. How much is your fuel? What's your extra fuel capacity? A liter?
2 gallons.
2 gallons.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You may want to. And Kingman, do that because then you'll get caught out. Right now, Kingman, it's 367. But let me tell you, so in Needles, for example, probably 6 or something.
Well, once you get into California, it's going to be $6 a gallon.
Yeah. There's a spot though in the middle where you don't want to get caught out, but that's the only spot, and it may be 7.
Okay, so you tell me fill up before I cross the border.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay,
and then the only other thing is I'm sure as you know is with the winds. Hey, tailwinds are great, but when it's a headwind, you know, I mean, it affects your range also.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't want to be playing like, oh, I got 20 miles.
Just remember this: a fill up for me is 4 gallons.
Yeah.
You know, so that's not a huge part of the cost.
Yeah.
And the other thing is because I'm a camper, this is a relatively cheap trip, and if you're interested, I'll explain why. So I stayed in a hotel in Flagstaff, okay? So I paid $60 for the hotel, whatever it was.
Yeah.
But then when you're in a hotel, you have to go out for dinner, so that's another $30. As opposed to when I'm camping, I'm paying like $20 a night for a campground, and I've got my own food, most of which I brought with me. So I'm paying, $4 or $5 for a meal. So it is.
You're preaching to the choir with the moto-camping because I'm a weirdo. I made those mini bike sidecar over there to kind of go camping. If you go down this, in about 2 miles, there's a dirt road that's Hackberry Road, and then it'll go to the left, and then down there is a campground. And then I also made a mini bike trailer for a single wheel mini bike that'll hold like a dry bag and bring camping gear like that. So yeah, this is awesome, and meeting people such as yourself. Because I see your setups and really get to learn. Is there any like websites or motor camping forums or anything like that that you follow or that I should know about?
A couple of things I follow.
Yeah.
One is, like Route 66, you go on YouTube and there's 10,000 videos.
Yeah.
Because I guess everyone wants to make money on YouTube. Also, Reddit not necessarily moto-camping, but I more follow camping sites on Reddit.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone on Reddit at all?
Yeah.
You know, and Reddit I find is very specific.
Oh, they're hardcore.
They're hardcore and
Yeah.
they're very well monitored, so you don't get the crap. You get people talking about the subject.
Yeah.
So I'm on Reddit for the motorcycle stuff, and I'm on Reddit for camping stuff, and I'm actually coming from the Midwest. I'm a wilderness canoer. I don't know if you ever heard of like the Boundary Waters Wilderness Canoe area. It's in the north side of Minnesota along the Canadian border, and so I'll go in there for a couple of weeks at a time. So preparing for this trip is very similar. I've got my basic kitchen stuff. I got in the green bag. I've got enough food for 3 weeks, and my sleeping bag and my tent and a tarp and a few other things. Because when you go canoe camping, you've got to carry everything that you're bringing in. So I sort of prepared
Everything.
with that, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not going down dirt roads on a thing like this. So you know, you're better off with your little thing.
So, highlight or low light for you on this trip? Low light, I guess, stopping here and me with this camera, right?
No, the low light was the day with the 40, 50 mile an hour winds.
Yeah.
The highlight, and this is just me.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of glad I did this on my own, frankly, because I have interest that other people might not share. Yeah. So, you know, you go on YouTube and you watch all the videos, and first of all, I can't eat hamburger, you know, real fatty food anymore. And everybody spends a lot of time about the restaurant they went to, which is not me. But the highlights have been finding the offbeat stuff. Yeah. Like I went into a little town called Vega, and I can't even tell you which state it was in. It might have been New Mexico, because it had a restored gas station, because I've been taking pictures of the restored gas stations. And right across the street from it was what they called a cultural museum. Not a Route 66 museum. It was fascinating. I could have spent, you know, half a day in that tiny little museum, which I totally didn't expect. Another highlight is in Albuquerque. There's a road called Route 14, which is a wonderful motorcycle road. And there's a little town right in the middle of it. And I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of it now to tell you, but it's the only town on Route 14.
Together, right?
And it's all like a little artsy-fartsy, hippy-dippy community with, you know, custom-made jewelry and handmade native rugs and things like that. I spent 45 minutes there with my wife. It would have been 4 hours. So that's the kind of stuff I sort of look for. Yeah. I mean, your station is...
Be aware there's barbed wire right here on the wall. No, okay. I don't want you to cut yourself.
That's okay. Yeah. But you should try to get yourself somehow publicized. Like if you look for this town, all you see is it says station. You know, it doesn't say general store. It says station. So I was wondering, was I flying by the station?
Yeah. No, but in... No. I mean, this is Valentine Station, Hackberry. What may have been listed as Hackberry Station is the Hackberry General Store.
Yeah.
They do have gas pumps out there, a whole bunch of antique pumps and stuff. A cat named Charlie. So you don't forget this town. I want to give you something because, I mean, definitely all these towns could blur together. So right here, and then my hand, But that's a shop rag, and then that has the Valentine Station logo. So if you need to check your oil or anything like that, you know, or want to put it up in the garage, Hackberry General Store, 3 miles down the road on the right-hand side. If you love old gas stations, that 76 station, I know you can only stop at a couple stops, but that 76 station
turned around
next door,
grungy to me.
Oh, okay.
I got a question for you. I don't know
go ahead. No, these are real. These are real questions. Go ahead, hit me.
Do you have water? Do you have a well?
Yeah, I have a well on my property. Yes.
Okay, and where do you go for groceries?
Town is Kingman, and that is 25 miles away, which would be 25 minutes away.
Okay, I'm just curious, when people live, you know, I see the benefit of living in the middle of nowhere sometimes, but it's a little isolating too.
Yeah.
And like do you rely? Do they have Amazon Prime out here and stuff? Do you have other?
Yeah, so this is the best way I could describe it. I moved out here in 2006, and I thought I was moving out into the country, just like you're saying. But what don't you get ordered and shipped to your home? And that's the same thing that happens out here. Even if you look along the hillside up there, UPS delivers up there. Amazon, FedEx, UPS. So yeah. And then I'm on satellite internet, but fiber optic cable is 3 miles away. And it was an adjustment. The biggest adjustment for me was I came from Ventura, California, small beach community of 100,000.
I lived in California for 8 years.
Yeah, and then within 5 minutes, you can go, right, sushi, this, that, the other. Coming out here, 25 minutes to maybe more limited options. So it really taught me to be more self-sufficient, but actually grown up, right, and cook, and just like you.
From Ventura to here,
I wanted to own some land, and then you're a motorcyclist. You may be able to appreciate this. I wanted to be able to ride motorcycles on my property, specifically a little flat track. So I got a little flat track in the back, a little or several little tracks, and just little training tracks, and
I used to ride in the dirt, but my knees say no now.
Oh no, for sure.
I've been hearing that there's a general move to people leaving California for various reasons, and I'm always curious where they move to. So I could understand moving to cities or moving to apparently North and South Carolina are getting a lot of California expats, and Idaho for the crazy people. But I'm always curious.
Yeah. So the Californians have not made it out to your way yet.
If they have, it's not a wave.
Yeah.
I mean, I moved to Chicago from Oakland. Yeah. But I didn't grow up in California. I'd only been there about 6 years, and I didn't like it for my own reasons. Yeah. And I met my wife, who was from Chicago, and she convinced me to go. There's good and bad to everything. What I like about Chicago, we also own a property in northern Wisconsin that's a 4-hour drive. So my idea of country is I've got trees, and I've got 2 lakes, and I've got this, that, and the other thing. But even so, one of the reasons I asked about Amazon is I live in an area that's middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, and it made a huge difference. Amazon really makes a huge difference there. Also, you have the people who could take their businesses and put them on Etsy or eBay. But really, the closest town, which is 15 miles away, you've got one furniture store and one this and one that. And if you want choice, you got to drive to Wausau, which is an hour away. So all of a sudden, Amazon comes and people they don't have to buy the one thing the one store has. They have choice. And I tried to buy brick and mortar, but during COVID, I got sucked into Amazon.
Well, no, and then sometimes I found it's more convenient because I'll try to buy brick and mortar here, local in town, but then I'll go in town, I'll try it, run around, they don't have it, I come back here, so then that's an hour and a half, it's an hour just there and back. So to be able to have something that arrives in a couple days, and then, okay, let me tell you this, because you'll appreciate this. The last holdout who just barely got Prime a couple months ago. Like I was that guy, just regular Amazon. And then I realized because I'm to get some equipment and stuff like this. And then also now our internet is fast enough to where we could watch some programs. I've just figured it's a no-brainer, do the trial, and then I'm priming now.
Yeah, I don't watch commercial TV. Everything I watch is either Netflix or Amazon Prime, or I'm big on the British show, so through Prime I've got BritBox and some of those.
Oh, okay, so that's like BritBox is an app specifically for British type TV then?
Yeah.
Oh, that's me.
If you like British mysteries, then you'd love.
You can just go down a rabbit hole there.
That's right. You can go down a rabbit hole. And last night I'm in Flagstaff and I'm watching, some Netflix movie on my phone, or in a tent. Sometimes I'm sitting there watching it, laying in there.
Do you ever have the phone going and listen to the audio when you're riding, or no?
I don't. Well, I have sometimes, mostly music.
Yeah.
Because I like to ride with my windscreen up, and it's a little noisy in there. And I have a communicator so I could talk to other riders if I'm on a group trip. But motorcycle riding for me is a little bit of a Zen experience.
Yeah.
I get into my own head and just go.
Yeah. So what was your first bike?
My first bike, oh God, it was a Triumph Trophy 250. Oh, wow. I want to say 1968 or 1969, somewhere in there.
Yeah. And then this would be in your whole career, what do you think? Is this your 4th, 5th, 6th bike?
15th.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
14th, I don't know. I went through a lot of bikes as a kid. I would buy them. Well, I worked my way through college as a mechanic, sort of, and I would buy stuff and fix it up and sell it. And I would buy motorcycles. I mean, now I have 2 motorcycles. There's been times in my life when I've had 4 or 5 at the same time. Because you need your dirt bike and you need your...
What's the other bike?
The other bike is a Triumph Trophy SC, which now is a 1300cc sort of sport tourer.
Nice.
Not quite as comfortable on this one as this one.
Does your wife enjoy riding with you, or you ride mostly solo?
In the 40-something years we've been together, she's been on the back of a bike 3 times.
You know what? Hey, and I love motorcycles, bleed motorcycles, but there came a point where I also realized if they're not into motorcycles, that's great too, because you'll want to, at some point, nothing to do with motorcycles. Like, what I mean is, if she was super into motorcycles, you would have to maybe maintain her bike too and do all that stuff. So it's like, hey, honey, if you're...
It's not so much that. I need to get off on my own.
Yeah.
Hence the wilderness canoeing or the motorcycle riding. And I think it strengthens our relationship to have some time apart. I mean, I talk to her twice a day and everything, and she knows that I've always wanted to do this all my life. Since I was in high school, probably, to ride a motorcycle on Route 66. So she said, sure, go. And she's sitting at home eating bonbons and doing whatever. I mean, we do camping trips together, but she only wants to camp when we have the trailer with us. Otherwise, she's fine with camping, but she doesn't want to be in a tent at night. And I don't know if you're in a relationship or not, but you figure it out and you make compromises, and that's the compromise that's worked for us. So, and there are trade-offs. I mean, I'm taking up to 24 days actually on this trip, but I think I'm going to do it in 21, and I'll owe her for that in some way or another.
Yeah, no, for sure. So Route 66 dream trip, basically, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm at 2,200 miles right now because I've done some offshoots. Yeah. Madrid, that's the name of the town east of Albuquerque that I really loved. Okay. That I would recommend to anyone.
And that's off 66 or on 66?
It's on 14, which goes from 66 to Santa Fe.
Okay.
It's a twisty up and down road.
Neat. Well, man, once again, Mitch, I really appreciate you for stopping here. Weather's nice, right? Light winds, so hopefully it'll continue.
At this point.
Yeah.
The S&H green stamp sign caught my attention.
Yeah, hopefully I was hoping you weren't stopping with 200 of those stamps, so I'd have to redeem a toaster for you or anything like that.
I will tell you a final thought, and then I got to get going.
Yeah.
When I got my driver's license in 1972, and I grew up in New Jersey, you could go to the Hess Oil gas station and get gas for $27.9.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I tried to, the 27 cents is, I tried to restore it. The station is circa 1957, so that's what the gas price is. The car's 57, the pump's 57. Yeah.
Did the car start?
No, ran when parked. Here, I'm gonna. Well, Mitch, I appreciate you stopping here at Valentine Station all the way from Illinois, and want to ring the bell here for you. So, Mitch from Illinois, thanks for stopping here. And definitely wish you a safe journey, man.